Hello everybody, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Hello, my name is Stephanie, and I'm so excited to give you an update on our debt snowball journey. So 2 years ago, I posted a video about our debt snowball and that we were getting ready to get out of debt and we were super motivated. And then I just basically stopped posting videos about our debt snowball. And I'm really excited to get back into posting some videos because we've made a ton of progress. We've learned a lot along the way, and I'm really excited to start sharing a little bit more about our journey now that we kind of feel like we know something about getting out of debt. So the number one thing overall, which I'll kind of work into this video, is about how we have really learned to be content with what we have and to work on delaying that gratification, delaying that satisfaction. And that could be like a whole hour video about how to manage our stress, how to set proper expectations with each other as a couple, with friends, with families, and just letting pretty much everybody in our life know that right now we are trying to be as conservative as possible with our money, and there is no shame in that. It really is for the greater good of our family that we are doing this, and it just takes a lot of sacrifice on, like, especially my husband and I's part, and it takes some understanding from like our friends and family too, that we may not always be able to be like wild party animals. Not that we're that wild, but you know what I mean. Kind of have to like really scale back. So the first thing that we did is we got all of our debts on paper, which I know kind of seems obvious, but it's really scary to get every single penny that you owe on paper somewhere. There are tons of websites that you can use. I really like Unbury.me, Undebit, Every Dollar, Mint. I mean, there are tons of free websites that you can use for getting to work on your debt snowball. But the most important thing, if you do it on paper, if you do it on a spreadsheet, if you use a website, is to get an accurate number of what your debts are, what you owe. And yeah, it's kind of a pain in the behind to have to maybe go look up what your car loan balance is, call the credit union to see what you owe on, you know, your other car loan, find out how much you owe on your student loans and that sort of thing. But that is the most important thing. And then number two is something that we had already been doing for our whole marriage, and that is budgeting. So this might be like something that you've never done before, but for us, we'd always worked on a budget and been in touch with each other about finances, but it became really critical, particularly me, that we got really serious about sticking to the budget. Now, it has taken us a long time to figure out how much do we really need every single week to be able to get the things that we need / want and stick to that number. Because sometimes we would under budget and then we would always end up overspending. And that just creates frustration and guilt and shame and contention. And so really figuring out how much do you actually need to get your necessities. And getting all of that on paper and then staying in communication about that is absolutely critical. Every single Sunday, my husband and I, we get together, we look at the budget, we talk about where the dollars are going, because sometimes we have extra expenses that are not recurring. Maybe we have a vacation. And when I say vacation, I mean like driving a few hours to visit family, not like Disneyland or anything. And we're like, okay, we will check the price of gas. We will figure out, okay, how many miles to the gallon does our car get? We'll, you know, look at Google Maps. Okay, how much is it realistically going to take for gas? Are we going to want to eat out? Probably. Are we going to stop at the gas station and get a snack? Probably. So depending on what we're doing, we communicate very in depth about our finances, what we're spending, what's coming up. And that is so key, that both parties are really in touch about where the money is going. Like nobody gets to have like their little secret, you know, account where they're spending like secretly on the side. You know, that doesn't really help with the overall goal, working as a team to get out of debt. So I kind of look at it as like a two-way contract. My husband works his butt off at work, And I am a stay-at-home mom, and I have generated income here and there. I have always done what I'm able to, but we made an agreement when I became a mom that I would be a stay-at-home mom, and my husband has heroically taken on the burden of being the breadwinner, solely being the breadwinner for our family. And so I feel like we're in a two-way contract where I have to really respect what he's doing every day at work and honor the contributions that he's making towards our family and our goals. And so it's not fair for me to go out and overspend. It's not fair for me to not keep the house as clean as possible, to let the laundry go, to let, things kind of fall apart, or to not take care of our clothes, to not take care of the things that we have, to, constantly be going out and doing things with the kids and with my friends for my entertainment. I mean, as fun as that is, and as much as I could shop every day, all day, and do things all day, every day, I feel like I am in a contract with my husband, and I respect him, and I'm grateful for what he does. And so it's only fair that I try to honor that. And likewise, just because he's earning the money doesn't mean that he tells me, you have to spend this much here, you have to spend this much here. I mean, he gives me a lot of input, or a lot of opportunity to put my input in, and he's very generous with, listening to what my needs are as a stay-at-home mom, because I do not have kids who are happy to just stay home all day, every day. They're going to want to go to McDonald's and play at the play place. They're going to want to go to the park. They're going to want to go swimming in the summertime. We're going to want to go to the movies. And so we talk about that, and we really respect each other and try to make sure that everybody in the house is happy. So then the third thing that we had to kind of figure out is how to increase our income. And this is probably the hardest thing for us because we are a one-income household. Neither one of us have like these secret skills that we can like do on the side. I know like some people have like a side business. We don't have a side business. We didn't have really anything to sell. We didn't have like a big savings account to cash out. We really just had my husband's job for income. We have sold a couple things, but really that did not really give us more than probably like $1,000. So we decided that he would start picking up as much overtime as possible. So for the last 2 years, he has picked up as much overtime as possible. And that is a sacrifice for him and for us because we don't see him as much. And so my job as stay-at-home mom like definitely intensifies when he's been working at the hospital. He's a psychiatric nurse and he's just gone. And so that's how we have generated the extra income to put towards debt. In addition to trimming all the fat from our budget in a way that's sustainable over the long haul, which could be a whole other video about budgeting. But really, the thing is if you want to get out of debt, I really think that there has to be a way to increase your income. And for us, yes, we looked at lots of options. We have looked at other jobs. We have looked at me going back to work. But what seemed to be the most efficient and make the most sense for us is for my husband to get as much overtime as possible. So along this journey, we have really had to learn how to accept progress and stability and not always shoot for perfection. We've had to take many breaks from our debt snowball over the last 2 years. We sold a house, we moved, we bought a house, we were able to go down to one car by doing that. But I mean, we gave up like our friends and the comfortable life that we knew so that my husband could be closer to work, make it so that he could do that overtime a lot easier. He can walk to work now. So we are a one-car family and it's working great. We feel super blessed that that was able to happen and that everything worked out. But we had to take a break from our debt snowball. We had to come up with $6,000 to $7,000 to fix up our house that we sold. And we had to just pay for that out of pocket. And then when we moved into this house, we've had a lot of repairs. We've had a lot of updates. We had some unexpected plumbing that was in the thousands of dollars. So things have not gone perfect. And I really believe that if my husband and I had not made the firm decision to work together to get out of debt, we would not even be close to being out of debt. So it's just super critical that we are constantly working together towards our debt snowball and that we don't really expect perfection. So number 5 is that we budget for everything. So when a birthday comes up, We talk about it on our Sunday meeting. Okay, it's so-and-so's birthday. How much are we going to spend? Okay, so we don't ever give ourselves a free pass to just say, let's take a break from budgeting. Let's just take a break from all of this. When we are, preparing for these events or whatever, we put a number on it and then we have to stick to it. So, in the past, it was like, well, I'll just kind of get what I want, or, oh, sorry, it was an extra $50 for this birthday party. No. Everything has a preset fixed amount, and then we try like crazy to stick to that. We're not always perfect. We are not like the perfectionists over here, but really that is how we have been able to make it as long as we have. 2 years so far on this journey. We still probably have another 4 or 5 years before we're totally debt free. And people are going to have birthdays. People are going to want a Christmas present on Christmas Day. We have an anniversary that we're going to want to celebrate. And so although we scale back on all of those things to save money, we don't totally neglect them. I'm not going to, not have a birthday party for my kids for the next 5 years while we're getting out of debt. That just wouldn't work for us. I'm not going to feed my kids rice and beans. I'm just not going to, but I'm also not going to overspend. And so, trying to learn how to become like a financial wizard and like a savings ninja is like my role in all of this, and making sure that we budget for everything. We set a number, we decide how much we can afford, and then we stick to it and we're done. And again, that comes down to being content, being grateful for what we have, and not having these expectations for every awesome thing that happens in our life. We really have had to learn how to detach ourselves from things, nice things, fun things, expensive things, new things, and just work on the relationships and the time that we have together as a family to make sure that we're not out shopping to fill some hole or some void that we're feeling personally, maybe because of stress, maybe because we're lonely, maybe because we're frustrated or we're grumpy. Really trying to make sure that we are whole people, whole parents, whole as individuals, whole as a couple, really working on all of those relationships so that we're not tempted to go out and spend as a way to cope. So that pretty much wraps it up for now. I could make a part 2 on some of the ways that we have perfected our budget, how we spend, what we do every week. And so I think I am going to do a part 2, but that is pretty much how we got started on our debt snowball. And as of today, we have paid off about $25,000. And when we started, we had about $92,000 in debt. So we feel super proud of that, and we're so motivated to just keep going, even though if we think about how long it's going to take, sometimes it is overwhelming and depressing, but we can't give up, because if we give up, we will never reach our goals. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel. I'll be posting lots of videos about budgeting and finances and how to save money, in addition to all things home and family related. And so please consider subscribing if you like those kinds of videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.